emphasize again, walking. We've talked about interval walking. We've talked about, picking up the pace a little bit. I've really tried to study why it's taking me a year to lose 10 pounds when I did so well. I lost 140 pounds, no problem, or 130 pounds, no problem. Trying to get to the 140 has been challenging because I was busy. I was walking. I can do 5 miles a day like this, but, Christine really turned me on to this. She's like, well, why aren't you breathing heavy? And I'm like, oh, breathing heavy. And she goes, aren't you swinging your arms? Aren't you doing this? And I'm thinking, man, this is a person who sat on the couch for 20 years, and I'm thinking, oh, aren't I great? But the thing is, my body's used to it now. My body's used to what I'm doing, and I need to change it. We need to do something. Now, I can't run. I'm not going to be running at 55 years old, but can I walk faster? Absolutely. Especially if I have a buddy, because I'm afraid I'm on a trip. But if I have a buddy, I can walk faster. You don't need any extra equipment. But what they're encouraging you to do is just move it, swing those arms, get going. I was like this. So what are you doing? Yeah, you're kidding me. Oh my gosh. And then, my heart wasn't going up, but I was getting those 10,000 steps. What you're supposed to do is really move it. They even suggest you get your best music. You get a lot of fast songs, and then maybe throw in Cherish by the Association, slow it down. Then In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, and then you get a little disco in there. So really mix it up. And I have to say, too, that I had my own business for 10 years. And I could say, well, I'm going to take a walk right now. And I would say, like, oh, I can work 10 hours on Sunday. Great. But now, that I have a regular job, I'm doing everything I do during the day, and I got everything that I always do at night, and I'm thinking, I think God is doing all these things to me and with me to have better compassion. Because those of you with the full-time jobs who I'm saying, why aren't they out going for a walk every night? I have such compassion for you now, because I get home and I'm like on the computer, I'm answering the phone, I'm doing this, and all of a sudden it's 11 and I'm like, what am I going to do about my walk, And now I am getting the steps in, but what I'm not getting in is that aerobic breathing heavy thing. So I'm going to have to really get it in on Saturday, Sunday, and, try and introduce that. And I encourage all of you who are retired and who don't have to, go in during the day, just pick it up speed. And you only have to do it 1 to 3 hours a week. Calculate how many hours there are. I sometimes, I'm under the adage, oh, I didn't take a walk today, I've ruined it all. If you can get 3 hours in on the weekend, that's good too. Also, it talks about, I think if I don't have an hour to do something, I shouldn't do anything. Do 10 minutes of a fast walk, or 20 minutes of a fast walk. There's still a lot of us in the room who are doing nothing. Nothing. I know you're tired. I know work is hard. Believe me, I can relate to that. But sometime throughout the week, you got to do something. Like Nancy said, if you need to get in the chair and start moving, but you got to get that heart rate up. You got to stretch too. And people might say, I don't really know how to stretch. Well, you just kind of do it. You don't, move your legs. I didn't go to stretching school, but you just kind of feel, I'm stretching. So stretch and try to do it. Here's another thing. When I first started walking, I just grabbed any old pair of sneaks and off I went. And I have this very pronounced arch in my foot, and so my weight wasn't evenly distributed. And when I started doing a lot of walking, I immediately got that plantar fasciitis, and I got the whole thing. I'm like, oh. So now I have these expensive inserts in my shoes. So be a little careful and always see your doctor before you start anything. Also, get those arms moving. Yes, Judy?
There's a place in DeWitt called Fleet Feet, and they, after you try the sneakers on, they have a treadmill, they watch you walk, and they can tell if your ankles are turning, and they will give you sneakers with better support and things like that, and it's a great place to go.
And what are they hitting you up for, $100?
They're about $100.
They'll tell you what.
But
they'll tell you what shoes to wear, but you can get them someplace else.
Oh, okay, everyone. Oh, they will?
They'll tell you what you can wear, and then you can buy them and sell someplace else.
At Dick's, maybe? Oops, I didn't mean it. Dick's, I'm giving you a plug there. But no, that sounds good. And you know what? I joke about the $100, but if that's your major athletic equipment, buy a bike, buy a treadmill, buy something. It's going to be more than $100, and it's probably the best tools you get. Thank you for that, Judy. Also, here's another thing. Walk really regular for the first mile. Get your arms going. Then the second mile, really start getting breathless. Then the third mile, take it back down. Try to go 3 miles at a time. Because people are still getting their steps like me, thinking, hey, I got my steps in, why aren't I losing any weight? Because our bodies are saying, schnaps, smaps, who cares? I want some aerobic stuff going on there. Also, one of the things you got to do is listen to the music. I find prayer. I love praying and walking, saying the rosary and walking. I have one of my blogs is a woman who wrote a whole book. Somebody bought it. Who bought it here? I don't know, but they did. They bought it off the website, saying the rosary and walking. The pedometer, again, people say, I can't find one that works. Funny, I have one that works. So, oops, I just got 2 more steps. I'll have to do 1,002 later. So, and the walking poles. Does anyone have walking poles? Anyone ever see anyone? Who?
Diana has them.
Did anyone ever see anyone walking with walking poles? Where do you get them? Target and Dick's?
What are they?
Well, what it says here, it's like your cross-country ski.
Oh,
And you actually put the sticks down, and it's like swinging your arms, but with sticks. And then you put them down and walk. I think that sounds interesting. I'm going to start with swinging my arms though first. Okay,